in a hotel. But this way because of light. It is Friday the 27th of June. I am in. Does it say on the wrong line? No, it doesn't. I'm in Cardiff. Maybe some of this might be a little bit. I don't know. I'm in Cardiff because under 23 British Champs is tomorrow and the day after, Saturday and Sunday, and I'm here to compete. So just like look around the river. Whatever. This should be a light. Maybe it's not a light. I think I need to put my card in first. Actually, let's put my card in first, so everything works. I've been to so many hotels this year. See you around? Oh no, never mind. Okay, so let's go in. See what we're dealing with. So, a bit smaller than my other rooms, but it looks cleaner in some other rooms. And I'm in the room and it feels cold. I don't see AC, which is cool because it's cold anyway. TV that I won't use, a bed that I will use, showers and stuff that I will use. It's very simple, quite small, but again, don't need much. But yeah, now it's just time to get ready for the meet tomorrow and then get everything started. I haven't trained all week again. I just wasn't able to. So I don't know how rusty I am. I'm gonna hope what happened last week was purely because I didn't get to practice block starts, because at SALs you don't get to practice block starts unless you steal some blocks or bring your own. So hopefully we'll be better this time. We'll see, because I messed up on the 4th step at the SAL for the 100, and then the 200 I was gassed. So a bit of speed, I've lost a bit of speed, endurance. My technique's not as good as it should be, but hopefully we can make it work regardless. When it comes down to be on the weekend. There's no indoor track, so the way it works is there's a little blue portion of track back there, 3 lanes. They got blocks over in that direction. So I'm gonna be doing blocks. I haven't tried to warm up because I didn't think there was much point. You've seen it hundreds of times, not that interesting. So I was like, let's just see how my blocks look today and see how we can transition in spikes. Out of spikes it seems quite good, but we need to see how it's looking outside of spikes. Just because it's looking good though doesn't mean I'm gonna PB, because again I haven't trained all week. So this is like the 5th week I think, so we'll see what we can actually get done. I haven't trained for weeks. I was sick for weeks and I just had the best start ever. The most technically sound start I've ever done. I'm going ready for 100, you know, do my blocks, do it, feels the exact same, and I'm like, I have it in the bag. I don't know if I'm gonna get out of the heats, but today is gonna be a PB day. The first run was a full start, which is quite annoying, but never let that shake me. Just kept doing what I was doing. In my head, as long as I repeat that start, I transition well, and I just do what I do upright to the best of my abilities. Even if I don't PB by a lot, we should be seeing a 10 today. So I've done my race, 11:06 into a minus 0.5. Convert that, that's 11:03 with no wind, my second fastest time ever. And considering the fact that I haven't trained in like 5 weeks, that's a W. You can be happy about that, but I'm not. Reason being is it could have been better. So I was next to the person, Jevon in this. He came second. I think he ran 10.6. about 40 meters. Like, he's pulling away, but it was like pretty much neck and neck for about 40 meters. And it's just that top end, that fitness, it just wasn't there. Not to say I would have been with him for the rest of the race. His technique is better than me. Otherwise, I would be able to run a 10.6 regardless. Like, when it comes to me, I'm very technique focused. So even if I'm not in fitness, if I've got the technique to run a 10.6, I will drop a 10.6. Like, it's not going to change. But we just didn't have it. But we got the start for it, which is quite cool. Didn't hit the 10.9. Today is like the last few days we've got. Like, we've got 2 more weeks. So I haven't decided yet, but I'm either going to go to Stratford or just accept the L and move on. And if I go to Stratford, I'd be doing 2 rounds on 100, where we're going to try to get the 10.9 again. And we can hope that with that 2 weeks of training, I would have enough to pull off at least a 10.9 so that we could go to nationals for the 100 and not just the 2. Otherwise, if I don't do that, I'm just going to go to nationals, English nationals for the 200, but I'm not too certain. We're going to have to wait for tomorrow for that. But yeah, we didn't run the best today, like technique wise. The first few steps, they could have been a bit better. It was kind of punchy, but it wasn't punchy enough, if that makes sense. And what other issues did we have? When I was running like cross-legged, which is so weird, like bow-legged. I've never done that in my life. I'm really, really, really rusty. So it's really amazing that we ran that time regardless. But yeah, it wasn't a good day. But when these things happen, you just take them. We're going to try and break 22 again for the 200 tomorrow. Decent enough, 100 I guess. I mean, I ran 11 flat with no training for like 5 weeks, so I'm not too upset, like I've already said. I've seen a few of you guys as well today, which is quite cool. Personally won my race, Sean and Yoga. I didn't know he watched my channel, so shout out to you. I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow for the 2. I'm actually outside KFC because this is what fuels me when I'm at these national meets. I'm away from London or Kent when I'm there. I always go to KFC, Popeyes. I just need like chicken. I don't know. I guess I'm black. I don't care if it's already. This is how I run. McDonald's for breakfast, KFC and Popeyes for dinner. So I'm gonna go in and get my food. Okay, so we've got the 200 today, and I'm gonna. I don't know. I want to push for a PB. The main goal is to go sub 22, but we're gonna push for a PB. And I'll tell you why. So at Luca, we did. I don't remember. Sometime around this, sometime like what I did yesterday, and then we went and ran a 21.83 for the 2. So something about me is, when it comes to racing, I tend to perform starts wise better on the second round because I get some racing training, you could say, with the blocks. Like, training with the blocks by yourself is one thing, but doing it against people around your level are a second thing, and that allows me to know where I'm lacking, basically. And whilst I'm not going to be able to do that today, I already kind of know where I'm lacking, so we can try and fix some of those stuff for today as well whilst we're warming up. But the next thing is upright. I've been doing a lot of focus in my races because I haven't been training, and accelerating. And from yesterday, I would say I was accelerating rather well. But now we need to focus on what's happening when I'm upright. And when I'm upright, not much is really happening, and I shine when I'm upright. So the fact that my top end isn't kicking in, yes, maybe a fitness issue, but it also means that technically we're doing something wrong. And there's 2 things. One, Christabel pointed this out to me. The other one I noticed. So I'll start with Christabel stuff. I was leaned forward to the shoulders. My like lower body was all in the right spot, but I was just punched upright. So if I can fix that, that's one easy thing that we can do to get some more power into the round. And the next thing with my arms, I can't believe I was doing this, but my arms are like this, going through, and it should have been like that. Across the road, my arms should have been more like that. So I was kind of swinging them out, and thinking back on some of my other races, even my PB races, that's actually how my arms are. They always just come out wide. But it usually happens more in a 2 than it does in the 1. Because in the 2, I'm just like, I want to just end this thing. But in 100, it happens sometimes, but that shouldn't have been happening. So we need to make sure that it's tight in the front. because that being wide out like that just means that when I'm running, I'm spending more time on the ground, or just more time behind me, instead of just getting into the next step. Because my strides, they looked similar to the people who beat me, but the frequency wasn't as fast, and my arms doing that stupidity isn't helping. So we're going to focus on those two things, and then just look at what we're doing for the hips when we get to the meet. Because there's one thing, maybe two, about the hips I'm not really liking. So my arms are dying. So if I could fix those stuff, we should be able to run sub 22, maybe PB, and hopefully get out of the heats. But we'll have to see, because like there's a lot of fast people here, and if I'm really unlucky, I might have the chance to race Jeremiah Azu, because he's also here. I'm in Wales. I mean, it makes sense. It's a senior and under 23 nationals. So if I'm like in the worst heat possible, I'm not gonna get through because there's only big queues. So I think it's 4 people per heat can get through to the semis, and if there's no little queues, so if you don't come 4th or up, you don't get to go through. It was the same thing yesterday, which is why I didn't get to go through, because I came 5th. So if I just was one place forward, if I ran I think it was 10.85, I think was the time to win 4th was 10.86. So if I ran 10.85 in my heat, I would have managed to get through to the semis, but it wasn't the day. But let's make sure today is the day. Even my 21.8, if I was to run that again today, we'd be pushing it to try and make it through. But I've got to do my best. And if you know one thing about me, is when championship meets come out, something else comes out and I show up. For the 200, the game plan was to replicate what I did in the start, and then just close the way I normally do in the 2 and do my best. Back, we ran 22.3 something into a 0 win. So that start was horrendous, but I'm not upset with the race, because with the conditions that I've gone into the race with, that I've already gone over for like most of this video, the odds were stacked against me, and I didn't run fast enough to get to the semis, but I didn't underperform. Because last week we ran 22.22 into 3.5 wind. So the fact that we're running 22.3 into no wind shows there has been a lot of improvement over last week. Though I don't think that race was very indicative of my abilities. The main issue was when I run a 200, there's 2 things that I pay attention to, which will make or break my run, and that's what's happening for the first 10 meters, and then what happens at around 40 to 50 meters. So my block start and my transition on that bend. If the block starts trash, there's a high chance the race is also going to be trash, because I just don't have enough momentum to keep going. And then if the transition is trash, like around 40 to 50, then the race is doubly sure to be trash. The transition wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. It was above average, and then the start was, I think it speaks for itself. That was horrendous. But one thing I am happy about is when I got to the bend, everything that I worked on today, it was brought into fruition. Because like I've already said, today I was focusing on that top end. Can I get the top end right? So cleaning up some of the mistakes that I made, and alongside that, some technical issues that I've been trying to get down for weeks now. I got that down in that race, and I just went. The only issue is I was just too far back. There wasn't enough real estate for me to catch really anyone that had like a 21 in their legs. Actually, anyone that had a 21 in their legs. So we ended up running a 22.3. But from that race and from yesterday, I would say this meet I already considered to be a training session, an expensive one, and it paid off. For the 100, we've got the acceleration that would be required for me to run like a mid 10. And then for the 200, I haven't looked at the numbers and I don't think I can because we're on the far end and I was recording on the far end. So it's quite hard to see where the 100-meter marker is. But I would say chances are that that final 100 was about what we normally do. So it was at least a 10.7. So even though we're not really in shape, we're still doing what we normally do. I don't know how fast. I feel like it might be really, really close to what we did for the 21.8. So it probably was around like a 10.5. But I can say that and then it could be like a 10.9, who knows. But actually definitely wasn't. Then I would have run like a high 22. But even still, I did a good job, I would say. I've been just really copying and pasting the acceleration from the 100 and the top end from the 200 and then merging them together so that we can have a strong 100 and a strong 200. Because I would say for the 100, like I've already said, about mid 10s. And then for the 200, we should be able to drop about probably mid 21s. Like this season, before the season ends. If we had like great fitness and everything, I would be talking about low 21s if I'm correct and I can make what I think happen. But we'll see. So now the race is done, it is imperative that I go to Stratford. I'm going to pay for that meet once I turn off this phone. So I need to go to Stratford, run the 100. I might even run a 200. I'm not too sure about that one, the 200 though. But if I can run 100 and qualify for that 10.9, because from what I've seen over this meet, I shouldn't even be struggling to get that 10.9 done. But if we can get that 10.9, we'll go to England, English Nationals, and then we'll just see how far we can get in the 100 and the 2. So that would be 2 weeks, Stratford, and then 1 more week to fix everything up as much as I possibly can before we try and hit the ball rolling for English Nationals. Because obviously I didn't qualify for Europeans, though we never was going to. That was with my times. If I qualified, everyone would have had to get injured, and it was like, okay, we just have to let you go in because we don't have anyone to send, which doesn't really make any sense. But I did what I could today. I'm not too upset. What I wanted to do, we did. Now it's just about that merge, so that when I go and compete at Stratford in the 100, if not the first round, the second round, we get the job done.